I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby. I'm David Thetford. That's Gary Ashby. He's writing a letter. And good to see everybody. Good to have you here with us today. We weren't here last week. We were off because of West Virginia and Texas Tech, and we kicked them 52-15.
Yeah,
that's the way it ought to be every game.
That was sort of Roberto Duran. They're over there going, no mas. Can we not just go home, get a new coach, and go home?
At halftime, we're just going to get on the bus.
Oh, real quick story on that. Monterey's playing El Paso in El Paso, and they've got their fans there and their cheerleaders and their band, and we're beating them so bad at halftime that the second half comes, the band's gone, the cheerleaders are gone. Yeah, they're all gone.
They're all gone.
And the reason they're all gone?
Yeah.
It was homecoming, and I think they had...
Oh, they had a dance.
Yeah, they had to go get ready for the dance, so they just left at half.
It's, and speaking of they're all gone, all our football teams are gone.
Oh.
I know. Ropes got beat last night, 42-28.
You know, they had the lead, though.
Yeah, they had the lead early, and they were tied at halftime, 14-14. Oh. I listened to it on the
did you really?
Ropes network deal. Okay. Coach
Who's
Kyle.
The guy? Is it Big B?
No. I don't.
That'd be tough to do your dad's team.
No, it's Coach Kyle.
Say, what kind of call is that?
They did a good job. They didn't sound, like they were
local yokels.
They sounded good. But Ropes had a great season, and proud of them, and they're growing, and it's going to boom, and it already is. So, right. But I think Shallow got beat last night too by Paradise, and
they did.
Well, their Paradise must be really good because Shallow is really good. So, congratulations to them,
and Lubbock Christian's really good.
They got beat.
I'm surprised they got beat.
I know it.
Very disappointed.
But anyway, we had a great football season in a lot of ways, and Monterey had a great year. And Lubbock Cooper, and Friendship. Boy, they just finished really strong.
Yeah. No, it's a good year for West Texas football, and we had several D1 kids.
Yeah,
signed the other day.
Kingdom Prep, Coach Winter, Greg Winter, his son is the quarterback. He was the MVP, and they had a great year. Now he's playing basketball. I think he's going to be the MVP in basketball too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's really good.
Well, let me tell you what, is that homeschool, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's church. It's a little church school.
Okay,
Kingdom
small
Prep.
Church school.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But
you get a small church school and you get you a stud. And you're in pretty good shape.
They're good.
All right, you mentioned we weren't on last week. I enjoyed the break. Did you enjoy the break? I'm assuming the listeners enjoyed the break.
When we have a break, you still got to get ready and get out to the game by 9:30, so it's not like...
Well, I didn't go to the game. I was in Ruidoso.
Oh, you got to just get to sleep in or nothing?
No. Because
you got to get out there. We had a good crowd. I was proud of our crowd. I'm proud of our crowd all year. I think they've done a good job of hanging in there.
Pretty good job. And I really didn't notice. I'm assuming we kept saying the wrong words to the school song, but I didn't notice it this year.
No, I didn't hear it.
So I was proud that maybe we're heading in the right direction.
Yep.
I know you're not a tortilla guy, but the tortillas were. But I think we might have learned to taper off the tortillas.
It was less.
Yeah, after the kickoff, and then
a couple of more times.
A couple of more little flurries. So anyway, but I've got a top 10. I know it's not 10-10.
What are we doing? Well, Coach Mcguire's going to be on at 10. On the phone.
We hope so.
We do. We try to call him.
Busy.
He may not answer.
Well, he's busy and he's important.
He's got more going on than a little.
Yeah, important people sometimes just can't stop at 10 o'clock to be on TNA. So,
yeah.
But anyway, I've got a top 10. You ready to hear them?
Yeah.
These are things that have happened since last we were on the air.
Which was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. We had Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I had that.
I'm going to tell you real quick one thing we did at Thanksgiving. This isn't very Thanksgiving-y. We went to the Christmas deal at the Flying J, and what a great deal. We had the grandkids.
The truck stop?
We had the grandkids. It's
y'all went to the truck stop?
Yeah, had dinner. Really good turkey.
Oh, that's something, Jay. I can't remember what is Flying J.
It's the ranch. I mean, it's the little area down there in Ruidoso that.
Okay.
That they have. But here's the funny part about it is we went in there and it's just us and the Terry and I and Mamo and the grandkids. We let Amy and Angie is their birthday, so we let their husbands take them to dinner. We took the kids. And great deal, beautiful. If you go to Ruidoso, run down there to the Christmas deal to Flying J. But anyway, we go in the chapel, and they have a picking and grinning type deal, and they're picking and they're grinning, and the kids get up there and they're
dancing,
do the Irish dancing, and they sing. The kids sing too.
Is it crowded at this deal?
It's a little bitty chapel's smaller than this, about the size of this room. So there's a lot of people in a little space. But anyway. Mama will talk to anybody, so she asked the guy, "Where are y'all from?" He goes, "Well, I'm from Lubbock."
Yeah.
He goes, "I was Monterey, class of '73."
No way.
No, and I go, "Hey, I was Monterey, class of '73."
You finished ahead of me in grades.
I said, because I know musicians, John Valentine, and anyway, I go, "Do you know Tim McCaslin?"
Yeah.
And you know what he said?
He said, "Never heard of him."
No,
Okay.
Just the opposite. He said, "I am Tim McCaslin." And let me tell you, Tim.
What happened, Tim?
He's changed a lot. That may be the photo of the day. I'm going to show y'all a picture of Tim McCaslin today. For those that know Tim, for those that don't know him, you'll just go.
We should have brought your yearbook. You could have showed us his before.
Yeah, I should have done that. I just wasn't thinking.
Here's before.
Here's
what playing music does to you.
So anyway,
but you put it on. I remember you put it on that little group we're on with.
Yeah.
And one guy guessed it. Probably Horn.
Oh yeah. No. 2 or 3 guessed it. Beth Cardinal guessed it. Yeah.
Who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in a picture with Tim, so it'd be me and Tim. And one of the persons I sent it to guessed Gary Ashby.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
So he was right.
Yeah, he was. You were in there.
But 2 of them got Tim McCaslin, and let me tell you,
I didn't recognize. I don't remember
no,
Tim.
You wouldn't.
All I remember is Mike McCaslin. He was in my class.
Yeah. Well, and Mike was much more athletic.
Yeah, he was.
And a lot larger. So anyway.
Oh, Tim.
Y'all look forward to the photo of Tim here in a little while.
Where is Tim?
Ruidoso.
All the time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
so you ask him, do you remember Tim McCaslin?
Yeah, I figured he knew him.
I am Tim.
I am Tim McCaslin. That's a good gosh.
What did you do then? Slap yourself in the head?
I went over and hugged him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Class of '73 hug.
Oh, yeah. Y'all had a special hug, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you guys did?
No.
Yeah, you
no.
did.
All right. Anyway, so that was one thing that happened. Second thing, we won our 8th game in football.
We did.
And we won it handily. And got a shot at our 9th game.
Which is really good.
And we'll talk about where. Maybe Joey will let us in on something. He probably won't because
Yeah.
I think they have a pretty good idea at this stage.
Surely people are talking to him.
You'd think. So anyway, but whether he shares it or not, or is able to share it, I don't know. And our basketball, since last we met, our basketball team beat DePaul, and DePaul's not a bad team.
No, they were undefeated when they got here.
At one point, I thought, you know what, DePaul might be a bad team. We're up 14-0.
Yeah.
But anyway, from that point on, it was an even game because we beat them by 14.
Yep.
So anyway, but it's not every day. In fact, I looked over at my bunch I was with. I said, have we ever shut anybody out? And they said, I don't think so. And we didn't.
Shut them out.
In fact, they took the lead. So they're down 14-0 and came back and took the lead. So I hope DePaul has a good year because that'd make us look better. All right, since last we met, we've got a new defensive
That's what we're
coordinator.
counting on. Go to Paul.
Go to Paul.
So we'll look better.
Not going to sleep tonight.
Who they playing? Who they play next?
Got a new defensive coordinator. We'll talk to Coach
Joey.
Mcguire.
Yeah.
On about that. Isn't that funny that the head coach, like Coach Magel, I call Coach Magel to this day. I don't call him, hey, Bobby. But with Joey, he's just strung so differently that you go, hey, Joey.
It's funny that you're like that because with Coach Magel, I feel fine calling him Bobby.
Oh, do you?
I really do. And of course, I didn't play for him. I call Coach Mahawka Joe.
Well, and you and I took Coach Magel and Coach Dudley to lunch, I don't know, 6 months ago or something.
Do it again.
Well, I went and got a haircut before I took him to lunch. But I would never consider calling him Bobby.
Yeah.
So anyway. And then we got another thing we did. We got a new offensive coordinator.
We did.
And it looks like Doogie Howser. I mean,
he kind of looks like Graham Harrell to me a little bit.
At least a young fella.
Yeah.
Which that seems to be the thing nowadays, young offensive coordinators. Oh, while we're talking about offensive coordinators, congratulations to Zach Kitley. We wish him well.
Oh, my gosh. What a great guy.
Yeah. Look forward to Florida Atlantic, wasn't it?
Yep. FAU.
Look forward to
his
following
talk.
FAU.
Love his talk to him. He's fired up. And the kids, they ought to be fired up to have him because he is an outstanding coach.
Yep.
And we're thankful he was here. And I know that I talked to Wes. And I said, I just want to call and see how you're doing because I know. He goes, that's part of the deal. He goes, I'm going to miss my grandkids. And I had lunch with Zach every day. We got to have lunch.
Oh.
And he said, I'm going to miss that. But I think they're going down. They're down there now. I think they went down there for some big announcement this weekend, some big deal. So
okay.
Anyway, it was nice to have him here.
And we did. I asked Wes to see if Zach would. He said Zach is flat covered up. But,
yeah.
Well, we'll have Zach on again and just tell him, hey, we appreciate you and goodbye. Since last we met, we've had a recruiting class, and a lot of our local talent was recruited. Not necessarily to Tech, but a couple of them were. You may know the other one, but it's Coach Stone's boy,
Leighton.
Leighton's coming, and good-looking kid. Looks like he's got a personality like his dad too.
Yeah,
so that'll be fun.
Yeah, he's a pistol. He really is.
Yeah.
He's going. You know, kind of what he reminds me of is Donnie Hart.
Yeah.
You know, Donnie.
Well, that'd be a good thing to be reminded of.
Yeah, it is because he was a great receiver, and Leighton has tremendous feet. I mean, it's how he gets his feet in bounds, and he's really a good athlete. He's not playing basketball because he's actually going to enroll in Tech in January.
Oh wow.
So Coach Page, who just walked in,
that will
did not get. We're going to need a chair here in a minute, or he can stand up.
No, but that shows his dedication to football.
Yeah.
That he's not going to, because he loves basketball.
Yeah. Well, he said the coaching in basketball wasn't that good, so he's going to go ahead and go to Tech.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he wasn't getting anything out of it.
So he was looking forward to not playing basketball.
Yeah, he was.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that
Where's
later.
your cap?
With our next guest.
I ran.
Good gosh, if anybody needs a cap.
All of us need one.
Well, yeah. It's the three of us. Thomas back there, our new producer. What do they call those guys?
He's a producer.
Guy on the other side of the glass. He doesn't need a cap.
No.
He got him a head of hair.
Well, look how young. What are you, like 7?
I'm 20.
20?
20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's Chet's son. He's Chet's grandson.
And I don't know what he did last night, and I'm assuming it's none of my business, but when I came in, he had his head on the table sleeping.
He's not as bad as that one guy we had when we first started the show.
No,
That boy was
we knew
drunk.
what he had done the night before. We knew what he had done. All right, anyway, I'm going to finish my top 10. How much time do I have to finish my top 10?
You got 5 minutes.
Oh, good God.
Well, look, see that clock right there?
I got plenty of time.
You don't know what time we go off, though, do you?
No, I have no idea what time we go off. All right, this has happened since Army played and won their 11th game or
I don't know.
12th.
I don't remember how
It's
many
a bunch.
they won.
Anyway, it was literally like a Bryson Daily infomercial.
It was.
It was the darndest thing, and I just sat there, and if I was a weaker man, I would have teared up because they just kept bragging on Bryson and kept bragging on him. Did you watch after the game?
Yeah. No, I didn't watch after the game.
Oh.
I was
it's
at the friendship tournament.
Oh. They have a tournament?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Hey,
Paul didn't know about it, but
anyway, they spent a good solid 10 minutes watching Bryson, everything he did, every kid he hugged, every person that got a selfie made with him.
he had 4 touchdowns, didn't he?
Yeah, and he could have had 5, but he handed off. But it was just unbelievable. Talked about Abernathy, talked about his dad. So anyway, you talk about a walking advertisement for West Texas.
He can be in the NFL someday, like that Tatum, whatever his name is, that can quarterback and run and play out receiver and everything.
Yeah, well, he's tough enough.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna be afraid.
And he's strong. He really is. We're proud of. We'll try to get him on the show. I wonder where after they go to a bowl game or maybe before. Get Bryson on.
Well, and they kept talking about the downtown athletic club needs to invite him only one thing, he's got to play Navy. Wouldn't that be something if he went to
Yeah.
the deal and skipped the Navy game?
Yeah, because he should. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get hurt.
Yeah. So anyway, and a lot of people, a lot of these guys nowadays say, well, I'm not going to play in that because I might get hurt. So anyway, but they kept hyping him to be in the Heisman talk.
Is that right?
Now that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Because
it
let me
really
tell you
is
what,
from Army.
when he left here and went to Army, I don't think he was thinking, well, I could go there and maybe win the Heisman.
Taysom Hill. I just thought of it. Taysom Hill, that kid. He's like Bryson Daly. He's in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Plays for the Saints, and then somebody. Maybe I'll think of who all he played for here in a minute too.
Oh, this is on my list. Since last we met, the Gene Messer Friendship Basketball Tournament has begun. Hadn't ended yet, but it's going to end today.
It's going to end tonight.
Yeah,
We got the winner right here in the studio. He's going to be on next.
that's right. Let's see.
Y'all just book it. Write it down.
Oh, and here's one of the neatest things I've done since last we were on the show. They had a deal earlier in the week, and there's probably 200 Tech supporters at this meeting with Kirby, Joey, and Cody, talking about the new world we're about to be living in college sports. And I think you're going to like it. I took notes, and I will share my notes with you once we get this next guest out of here. I will share.
He wants to get out of here too.
Share these notes. He's going. I will share these notes with you, and then the last thing that happened was at the game, the basketball game, the DePaul game, at halftime. I love this. It wasn't the wiener race. Remember the wiener dog race?
Yeah.
This was just all comers, but it was the Texas Tech
Should've
dog
brought
race.
a Greyhound.
And anyway, they introduced them and they put their picture up there. Some of the cutest dogs ever. But anyway, I noticed early in the game that Kirby had this big old dog in his lap, and then I looked down and here comes Diane at halftime with the dog. And one of the names of the dog was Bob, and I thought, what a great name for a dog, Bob. Well, that was Kirby and Diane's dog, Bob. And let me tell you what, Bob needs some work. He was if not last, and there's 14 of them. It was no contest. This one dog, literally in 4 seconds, the race was over. He came out and nobody, I don't think anybody else finished. And Bob certainly didn't. So anyway.
Bob didn't.
No. I told Kirby, you're going to have to work with Bob. And he said, well,
loser.
Bob retired.
He's a
So
loser.
Bob retired and will not be going
Who wants to
again.
bring a big old dog to the basketball game?
But I'm certainly thinking they didn't think Bob had a chance.
You need a little dog if you're going to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't work with Bob. It's pretty evident they've never worked with Bob.
Yeah.
They just
was he lackadaisical, kind of spaced out?
Oh yeah, he just But only one dog, I think, out of 14 actually finished.
Everybody's just running everywhere.
Oh yeah, and jumping on each other, and it was hilarious. I would do that 5 times a year.
Coach, there's something you can do.
Okay,
You're going to do it.
All
Coach
right.
Page is going to do it at Friendship.
We'll be back with Friendship's head basketball coach, Coach Page, in a few minutes. I have no idea how long. A few minutes.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, Red Zone, Golf USA.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, there's Coach right there, Coach Moran. You seen?
I did not see.
There he is. Golf USA at 67th and Indiana, and we got Chet. He works there. It's his grandson in here helping us today.
Our producer is Chet's grandson. And Chet's one of the main daddy rabbits at
He's been there a while
Golf
now.
USA.
Stacy Nix and Mike Moya and the whole crew down there for everything golf. And I know it's getting cold outside. It's a great time to get your equipment fixed and get you some new equipment and order it. And great Christmas presents.
Or get you a toboggan or get you some gloves for in between holes.
They got all the accessories.
Yeah.
They really do. Go see them, 67th in Indiana, Golf USA. And talk about a great place to go get Christmas presents for men. HG Thrash Clothier, 2010 Broadway downtown, and then Kingsgate South. Brand new store out there, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And if anything you get in there for the man in your life, whoever it may be, they will love it because it is first class, and it is great-looking stuff at HG Thrash Clothier. See Howard and Jeremy and the whole crew there. They can help you. And you can do a lot of Christmas shopping right there and get it all done at HG Thrash Clothier Company. It's Kingsgate South and 2010 Broadway, the original store. And we should, okay, that's more than, okay. I guess we're back. We're going to call Coach now. You got him? Okay. All right. Good. All right. Now we're going to try to get Coach Mcguire. Thanks to Paul Page for being on. He's really a personable and a great guy.
Well, we try to do that once a year, and what we try to do on this show is support the local high schools, and because I just think high school athletics and junior high athletics very, very important to a community.
They are important, and
they need to feel like they're important.
They are important, and the thing about it is, there's a lot more people out there that played high school sports than college, and so not many play pro. So it's everybody's got memories of their great high school times. And Coach Mcguire had a bunch of great high school times when he was a high school coach. My gosh, what a coach. Anyway, we're trying to get Coach on the phone right now. Maybe we'll have him here in just a minute.
No, we actually do have him.
We do have
He's
him.
a busy
right
man.
Now, if you're ready.
All right, Coach. Coach Mcguire.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show. Good. Thank you for doing this today. I know you'd probably just taken a nap, but
no, man, I'm sitting on the back porch. I got game day on, and I'm gonna at 11 o'clock. I'm gonna just live through some misery of us not playing in that Big 12 championship.
Yeah, but you're watching two teams that you beat play.
I know. Isn't that funny? Not funny.
Yeah,
not funny, ha-ha.
Not funny, ha-ha, strange. Well, yeah. Coach, you just think how close we were. TCU. You just think we would be in the Big 12 championship game, right, if we'd have beaten them?
Yeah, that's probably the one that's the most frustrating because you have a 13-point lead with 11 minutes left. And,
yeah.
And you're centering the ball trying to get a kick, and it's just one of those deals. I mean, Will he had both hands on the ball. It, really had him. He was locked in, and it just perfect timing of a helmet on a football, and he came out, and they end up beating us.
Yeah.
What do you think about a show that 30 seconds in brings up the most miserable moment in the entire season?
Well, it's crazy because we got an ex-coach on this dang show, and you'd think that he'd be like a little bit better about no.
Just talk about the good things.
I agree because I want to go to the good stuff. Hey, the good stuff is.
I'm with you though, man.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm as frustrated as anybody, and I'm proud. I'm proud, and we got an opportunity to get to 9 wins. But golly, man, we're so close, and to get where we need to be, we got to be better.
Well, and it sounds like we're headed that way. We had a good recruiting class, and I want to talk to you about that. But I'm sort of curious. We signed 17, and I know it's because we've signed a couple of big classes in a row. But then it turned into 18. Has it turned into 19 or 20 yet?
Not yet, but there's some big fish out there that we have opportunity, and so we're always going to try to have the opportunity to be in and to get some of these players that are really, really talented.
Now, do you save some stuff back for the portal and all that, or do you just go get what you can get in high school and go on?
No, we have a number, and that's kind of like we know we could go to 17, possibly 18. Go to 18 and possibly 19, but we really identified where our needs are and what we're going to try to get in the portal, and that's about 10 guys. And I've told a lot of people the portal is going to look totally different than what he's looked before. As crazy as it's been, the last couple of years about the number of people that are in the portal, but the number of guys that are in the portal that have played a lot of football and been really productive in college football, that number is going to be higher than it ever has before.
And the reason is, folks, is the Wild West is about to be tamed.
Yeah,
but
hopefully. It's
going to be really wild from now till what, June 30th, June 31st?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you how much I
June
appreciate
31st.
You and Cody and Kirby doing that, sharing the knowledge, because there's a lot of us ignorant folks out there that just really don't know what we're talking about when it comes to this. And y'all made perfect sense of it the other day. And do you have a couple of minutes to tell us what folks should expect between now and June?
You bet. So, I thought Cody did a great job of explaining just the landscape of college athletics, and everything that is going on. But on July 1st, it will be we will be able to revenue share. So it will not just be the NIL, and any NIL deal that you're going to do. And it's really whenever it starts in April, as far as when they start looking at those deals, has to be for fair market value. So whatever you're paying a sponsor, on your show, if you're going to do it for a player, then it's got to be the same. It's got to be fair market value, and you're going to have a third party that is going to make sure that those. And it's not going to be the NCAA. It's going to be a third party that makes sure those NIL deals are legit, and then you go into revenue sharing. And we've been working on this for over a year. We feel like we got a really good model. We spent some time with some NFL teams and some guys that they're salary cap guys, and it's really going to go into that. You're going to be slotted, and this is what you're going to make. And but between now and then, you're still in the old world of the NIL deals, and so that's going to come into play whenever you're talking about being aggressive in the portal of being able to go an NIL deal and then also show the young man what their revenue share is going to be.
All right, July the 1st. Who's gonna handle all this for us? Are we going to hire a general manager like Stanford did, or is it going to be Kirby? Who's going to handle this stuff for us? Because it's going to be a handful, I think.
Yeah. Now with us in football, we have a general manager, and then we'll have what we'll call, it'll be part of their job description is the salary cap, the guy that handles what slot. And I mean we've been running these numbers. As soon as we thought that it was going to go to this, then we were challenged to get ahead of it. And we've got a spreadsheet. QB1 is going to make this in the revenue share. Your backup quarterback's going to make this. Your third string is going to make this, and on throughout your roster. And we feel like we have a good handle on it. So for us, it's kind of a group of Antonio Huffman, James Blanchard, and Quentin Jordan are the three guys that will handle that for us.
I tell you what, I think the fans, because most of the fans do not like this Wild West mess.
No.
And I think everybody can buy into what we're going to eventually have after July the 1st. I think people go, okay, this is the new normal.
So that everybody's, we're operating under the same system. And we were talking at lunch yesterday, Coach, and somebody said, we think this quarterback that's going to Michigan is been offered $10 million.
Well, it's not July 1st yet.
I know it. So they can see. That's unbelievable to me. I mean,
it's a couple of things to me too, and this is where I don't feel like we'll ever operate in the world like that. Like I listened to the head coach at Indiana, and when I know that the quarterback position is a little bit different, but whenever you're talking about a high school kid that's never thrown the football in college football. There are college football quarterbacks out there that have as a proven production. I mean, you see what Oregon's doing right now, and Dan Lanning is. I think a lot of Dan Lanning have a lot of respect for him, but they go get Dylan Gabriel. If you're saying that that's what you're going to pay Dylan Gabriel, I can at least understand that because what he's done in his career. A high school kid, you're just as big a chance that it's a bust versus a guy that's going to be really, really good. I mean, there's no guaranteed guys out there that are just going to come in and light it up, especially being a freshman. And then also, if you're paying that money, I think the fans would expect that that's going to be your starter. And I don't know how many people how many teams want their starter to be a true freshman.
Yeah, I know it. Hard to pay him that much and sit him on the bench.
All right, is the poaching going to change? Like Bob leaving Slippery Rock after being there a year and going to and getting more money. Is there going to be some caps on that?
Well, what's going to be really good, and it's how you handle it and the contracts that you sign. But the contracts as far as buyouts and everything like that I have in my contract, that's going to be the exact same thing that they have in their contract. So if school X wants to come get a player off of school Y, and they have time on their contract and money on their contract, and that school is going to have to pay the other school the buyout.
Ooh, I like that. Now, that's the way it should be.
Okay.
Well, you're going to have that, and you're going to be able to do multi-year contracts. So you're going to be able to lock these guys in to where, certain ones that you want to do it with, that they're here for more than 1 year, or you're hoping that you have a culture where they want to be here, and
sure,
you're taking care of them and they're growing. But there are also going to be times where you're going to be able to sign guys to multi-years to where, again, if they want to leave, then whoever takes them has to, pay the rest of that contract.
Coach, did you ever have any idea that college football coaching would become? It's unbelievable what's been added to college football coaching. The all the things you have to deal with.
Yeah, it's and I tell everybody, this has changed in the last 8 years. 8 years ago, you had a one signing day, and that was in February.
Yeah.
And now, we signed even earlier. We're a week earlier than we were last year. December's closed, meaning that we can't go out and, I can't be at a playoff game today to watch football. It's closed because the transfer portal is about to open. And so, no, I never thought that it was going to get to this. Is there a lot of good things that should have been being done a long time ago? Yes, but, it's like we opened Pandora's box, and this is what we're dealing with, and it's been like this, and there's you're not putting anything back in that box.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you, Gary mentioned the recruits that we got. I'm watching them come across, and I love the deal they did with Patrick Mahomes on social media, showing him that's a good Red Raider. But that's so great. But I'm looking at these guys, Coach, that y'all have recruited. We recruited a bunch of grown men. These are big old tough-looking guys.
Yeah, we went really the two positions that we were really hard in was the offensive line. And then I feel like we got really some special receivers in this group, and two local guys that Lubbock, the Lubbock community has got to watch them up close and personal, and Michael Deaver and Leighton Stone, and so we did. We've got to continue to grow our offensive line, and we'll be aggressive in the portal with the offensive line, but there's just. I believe whenever you're getting to a point to where you can compete for championships, it's going to be because you're good up front.
Bingo.
No question.
Bingo. And I've sort of said the last couple of years, Cody was an offensive lineman. He's the head of the Matador deal. I said, Cody, go get us some linemen. And it sounds like they're going to go get us some linemen. I liken it to pitching, Coach. If you got pitching in baseball, you're going to win more than you lose. If you got offensive linemen and defensive linemen, you're going to win more than you lose.
You're 100% right. 100% right. That's one thing that I say, and this is not saying anything negative to any of our guys that have played for us, but the reason we've played close games, especially this year, is we have to get better on defense, especially our pass defense. We were one of the worst in the country, and then we got to get better up front, and that's why you play one-score games. I do think that we have a very strong culture, and so I think that's why we've won more score games than we've lost, but it's the reason that you're playing one-score games. Those two things really stick out.
Yeah. Speaking of, let's talk about something really positive, and that's Jacob Rodriguez, first-team All-Big 12 linebacker, and what he said in social media, Coach, was priceless. And that's the kind of kid we want at Texas Tech. My gosh, what a fine young man. What a year he had. He was outstanding all year long.
Yeah, he's kind of been the Taj Brooks on the other side of the ball. Just consistency and the way he's played. And, I expected him to come back, but I also was nervous. He's married. Emma's an absolute rock star. I think she's tougher than him. She's a helicopter pilot in the Army, and there was some things talked about. I talked with both of them, met with both of them, and just as far as like him declaring and them, kind of getting into more of their life. But I think it was really important for him to come back because he does understand. He loves this place. I mean, absolutely loves this place. And he does understand. Here's a guy that played quarterback in high school, then played quarterback his first year at Virginia. So if you think about it, he hasn't played a lot of games at linebacker. You give him another year, then he really turns into a legitimate big-time draft pick. He would have got drafted this year, but it would have been in the later rounds. And so getting him back and him being a leader, and I know he was really fired up also about Coach Wood and what his defense has done, and so he's excited about to play in that defense.
Coach, I want to talk about Taj, and I want to talk about one thing you said about UT winning the SEC and Oregon winning and all that, but we only got about 45 seconds till the break. Can we call you back here in about 5 minutes?
Or do you want to hang on?
You're just sitting on the porch, man.
I can hang on. I'm going to refill the coffee, so I'll just hang on.
Okay, if you don't mind, just hang on, and when we get back, I want to talk about a few more good things that are going on out there at Tech. Even Zach Kitley and the fact that one of your coaches got to move on and be a head coach, that's a positive.
And we want to talk about these two new ones, our offensive, defensive coordinators.
Sir.
Yeah. Okay.
We're excited about it. Thank you, Coach, for doing this. We know
and we appreciate
you've had a lot
time.
going on. We do.
All right, we'll be back with more Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby and Coach Joey Mcguire right after this break.
Sports Talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
On the menu, and some of the best onion rings you will ever eat in your life. They really take pride in their preparation of the food. They do lots of catering, and it's a first-class place. Riversmith's big restaurant. Stop in and see them. 5th and Avenue Q. Plains Capital Bank, ride with the good guys. Texas Tech, Lubbock, youth sports, they support it. And they've been a big part of that for so many years. And they have banks all over town for you old people that like to go to the bank like me. Or you can do it online. Everything. State-of-the-art banking at Plains Capital Bank. You need to stop in and see them. Get you an account there. They can help you with whatever you need. Quarter 4, the old Cardinals is still the same place. Same people are still there, but this is the place. Just take your list of people you're buying for. You can do all your Christmas shopping all at one time at Quarter 4, just outside the Loop on Slide Road.
Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby returns on Double T 97.3.
And we'll try and have Brad Wyatt on next week, Quarter 4, and talk about the shoe tree. Where
it's
they
a
help
big deal.
The children in the area.
They do a great job.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk to Brad Wyatt next week about that.
All right, Coach Joey Mcguire is with us, and we're honored to have him on our program and thank him for taking the time, because you talk about a guy that's got his boat loaded. There's been a lot going on. you have it's so good you get to be home a little bit, Coach.
Yeah, it is. We get a day off, and then tomorrow or hopefully tonight, but tomorrow we'll find out who we're playing in the bowl game, and we'll get to work on them.
You already know, Coach?
You already know, don't you?
You can tell us.
No, I wished I did, man, because I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
You'd be working, wouldn't you? Well, I'm glad you don't know. Well, let's talk about that just for a minute. I appreciate what you said about the Big 12 and our football programs and our strength and all those kinds of things. And I appreciate you. A lot of people wouldn't take a stander, but I appreciate what you said, and I hope we're going to have a Big 12 team in there. I think we will.
Well, that sort of goes back to what Coach was talking about.
Yeah.
But David came in today saying we're not going to have a Big 12 team in there.
Well, that's what people were saying last night on ESPN.
Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, if it is, then it's really broke. I mean, I think it's already broke with the people that are there, and what's crazy is there's some really good coaches, some retired coaches on that committee, and that was my challenge. I don't see how you sit and watch film week in and week out, and who's playing who, and then all of a sudden this conference is dominant.
Yeah.
And that was my point. Like, you look all the way across, and you have a Big 12 team that was in the Big 12 last year, and they changed their logo, and now they're going to win the SEC, and or possibly. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you got to be looking at film and exactly who's playing who, and BYU has just as much of a case for being in the playoffs as anybody else. I mean, just as much as – if you look at it, if Clemson beats SMU today, BYU just has as much argument of them being in the playoffs as SMU, because they beat SMU head-to-head.
Yeah. I know it.
And
Coach, I was so excited we're going to 12 games, and I thought, oh, good, this will solve the problems. It didn't even come close to solving the problem. We got even more.
Well, it has helped, though.
Well, yeah, there's some teams that are
helped.
in there that shouldn't, that ought to be there. But now we've got this argument about the conferences and all the other stuff. But I don't know what the answer is to all of it.
Well, the answer to me is, and this is where I'm confused, that your Power Fours, you got 4 slots that are seated, and then everybody else, they're going to be seated from 5 to 12. But if you win a Power 4 conference, you should be in one of those 4. I don't think it's comparable to say that somebody outside the Power 4 conferences should be in the top 4 over those Power 4. If you win your conference, you should be one of the 4.
I agree.
And that's what I don't understand, that you can say, well, we can justify that. It's not. You're not playing the same. It's not comparing apples to apples when you're talking about those schedules and everything like that.
No,
exactly.
I agree 100%.
Well, the one I saw last night had Arizona State. Evidently, they think they're going to beat Iowa State, and they had them at the 12 slot. That's where they had them.
Right.
Well, they're in, though.
Yeah, they're in.
Yeah.
But what Coach is saying, they ought to be one of the 4.
Oh.
They got to buy.
They really should.
Yeah.
They really should.
Yeah.
And I think you're also seeing a little bit. You're probably seeing the Heisman Trophy winner, and they've lost one game. And I have a lot of respect for Boise State, so you're probably seeing that favor a little bit the committee. But that's not what it should be. That's not how this thing works. I mean, you should be looking at strength of schedule, and you should be looking at who's playing each other each week, and then again, once we went to, and I know the rules don't say this, I'm just talking common sense. I mean, I think we've lost that a lot in the world that we're living in right now, but just common sense. The Power 4 conference, champion of the Power 4 conference, should be one of the 4 in those top 4 seeds.
I agree with you.
Okay. All right. You said something there that sort of slipped it in on us, but do you feel like Boise State's running back is going to beat Colorado's multi-purpose boy?
I have a lot. I love the running back for Boise State. I think it's absolutely incredible what he's done. But for me, I've never seen a player play as many snaps at the level that Travis Hunter plays at. Well, we're not talking about a couple of snaps on defense, and we're talking about over 100 snaps a game, and he's playing at the highest level that you can play at, as good as anybody that's played college football, in those positions. And so you see something that you've never seen, I've never seen it, because you'd have to probably go back to the 40s and the 50s to see two-way players like that. So
well, David's seen a lot
I've
of
never
it.
seen these.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. No, we were just talking about E.J. Holland. That's what we remember. He could play both ways. But Coach, I think Turner.
I go with Travis.
Okay.
Yeah, Hunter,
I can't imagine him not winning it, but
I can't either.
So. Yeah. But, I can't imagine a conference champion from the Big 12 not being in the top 4, but it sounds like it's going to happen.
That's right.
So, again, what are we looking at? Like, people that know football, and these Heisman Trophy voters know, they're there for a reason, and they know football. If I'm sitting there watching a kid play like Travis Hunter and play as many snaps as he's having to play, and play at that level, I mean, just take the running back, put him on defense, and let him play the exact number of snaps that Travis is playing. I think his production goes down on the offensive side of the ball. Travis Hunter's production does not go down anywhere. He is pretty special.
All right, we've been talking about voters. The voters in the Big 12 voted Taj Brooks second team all Big 12. Now then, I understand this is a 16-team conference, so there's going to be a lot of really good players on the second team. But I just can't see Taj being on the second team. But, I mean, was that a little bit of a surprise?
It was a big surprise. And, I don't know how that went, if coaches voted to help their player out or if they really voted to who they thought was the best. I mean, if you look at Taj Brooks, he's had 100 yards against every single team that he's played against this year. And what he's done – I mean, he's a 1,500-yard rusher, and then you look at his whole career, and I know that's not what you're looking at, but that's in your back of your mind. and I love this kid. Absolutely love him and what he's done for his team. But Scatterbo had 60 yards against us rushing. Now, he had a big pass play, that we let him get down the sideline. But, at running back, he had 60 yards against us. So he did not do what Taj did. He didn't have 100 yards against everybody that he played against. And so I just can't believe that Taj wasn't on the first team. And then RJ, which is another guy that's absolutely a great running back. And, I voted for one of those. I think I actually voted for both of those guys. So, and with him, his team's also, I think, 5-7 or 4-8, and so I just think what Taj Brooks has done this year and over his career is absolutely incredible. And I thought it was embarrassing. I thought it's kind of like whenever I talk about what we're doing as a whole in football, it's almost like, well, we're doing it to ourselves, from the standpoint of you're not going to vote your best running back as first team. Well, that's kind of like us not getting somebody in the playoffs. It doesn't make sense.
I know it does. I think you got it right earlier, Coach. We've lost all common sense.
Start doing what's best for us instead of what's best for the whole group.
Well, Taj was amazing.
One thing Scatterbo had going for him was his name. I mean,
no doubt.
That's a catchy name.
That's a great name, man.
Yeah,
it really
is. Name.
And he's a tough guy.
He's a hell of a player, man.
He really is.
He's a hell of a player.
He's a great player, but Taj Brooks had the year of years for the running backs in the Big 12. There's
All right,
not
Coach,
any question.
you talked about us getting some wide receivers. Micah Hudson,
yes, sir.
According to Cody the other day, is not necessarily going to leave Tech, but if you've got these new ones coming in that probably have a fresh attitude, it might be better that he did go on. I mean, that's just me talking.
Well, whenever we say that, I mean, really, the portal does not, like people can say I'm getting in the portal, but the portal does not open until Monday, to where you officially put your name in and it goes from there. And, we don't want him to leave, but we also understand that there's reasons that people leave. And we definitely want guys here that want to be Red Raiders. And, I hate it. I hate it for him and I hate it for us. The injury to where he missed the spring, I think affected him. And then we turn around and we're kind of getting going and he's doing some good things. The week after TCU, we had some plans for him to be the punt returner, the primary punt returner. And he had a stress fracture. And so that kind of derailed a lot of things. And whenever things don't go the way you plan, as people, sometimes we think it's better to hit reset and go somewhere else. And so I think a lot of Micah Hudson, and I love him, and he's responded, and we'll see how it goes. But the other thing I will say is there's so many, that's one position that there's a lot of productive guys. There's All-Americans that are in the portal that will be in the portal whenever it officially opens on Monday. And so we're going to go get somebody. We feel great about having Corey Aiken back, and we have Caleb Douglas back. And we'll go get somebody that's really good if that happens.
All right. Is it next year we're going to have to be down to 105 players?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
it's crazy, man, whenever you think about like the walk-on programs. And I think we've done an incredible job in Tech and Nebraska, and teams traditionally have built and have had some really good walk-ons become scholarship players. But in July, that July 1st, whenever you start talking about the revenue sharing, we'll be down. So really in June, the number of guys going through the summer program will be at 105.
All right, how do you handle that? Do you bring kids in and say, "Hey, Biff, we're going to have to find you another place to go"? Because you're going to have some of them go away.
Yes, sir. Well, you got a kind of a mixture. You kind of look through what it's going to be and who's going to get in the portal looking for other places. So some of it's just going to be natural where you're down. And then some have to decide, like, do they get in now or do they wait? Because there's another portal window, April 16th. And there's some that you have the conversations like, hey, we think that you have really good potential. This is where you have to be. And if you want to give it a shot here, then we want you here. And you've got till April 16th. And then at April 16th, when that portal window opens, we'll have other conversations, and it's going to be tough. I was hoping that they were going to phase this in, but I also was glad that they didn't go to just 85, because that was the number that was floating out there, that they were just going to go to 85 scholarship players, and that was going to be your roster.
No.
What do you think that's in the future? You think they are easing it in?
No, I think where we're at, just because of, number one, player safety and the reason that it's going to be tough to do that. We're not like the NFL. You can't go get somebody off the streets that's not playing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cowboys, if they lose a kicker, they can go find a kicker. We wouldn't be able to do that, So I think they'll keep it at 105.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be tough to go to 85.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I just wanted to bring this up because I saw a deal the other day. I was trying to find it again. I thought I took a picture of it, but it was a comparison of your first 3 years at Texas Tech against our previous coaches, all the way back to Mike Leach and, of course, the others that have been there. You're leading the pack, Coach. You've done a really great job at Texas Tech, and I know there's those people out there that are always negative about everything, but I'll guarantee you, Coach, Gary and I are around all the time. People are so supportive of you and your staff and what y'all are doing. Most of the people, the huge majority of the people, are really behind you and what you're doing and how you do it. You're first class all the way, and we appreciate you.
Well, I really appreciate that. I do think that we're going in the right direction to build a program that you can sustain success, and getting to 8 wins was big. But I always say to the people that are negative or anything like that, I live it every day, and I'm the most disappointed person in the country that we're not playing today. So whatever they say, trust me, my expectation of myself in this program, whatever, it's not anywhere close what they're saying to how we feel, and that's a driving force. And, Coach, that, like as much time as we put in this and the expectation of where you want to be, we expected to play this time this year, all year long, and so we're going to keep at it and we're going to build it the right way. And the one thing that I do think, whether you like it or not, the way we play, how hard we play, and the passion we play with, I think that, and I hope that we're making the Red Raiders proud.
Well, you are. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. New offensive coordinator, because Zach moved on, and a new defensive coordinator. That one of them looks like he's about 15 years old, and but that seems to be the deal on offensive coordinators. They seem to be a young lot. So anyway, you say a few things about those two
Mac
guys.
Leftwich.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm so happy. I listened to Zach's press conference yesterday, and if anybody did or saw just parts of it, they should know how. That dude is West Texas. That guy is so proud to be where he's from, and he even mentioned Coach Black, his high school coach, in his press conference.
Yeah.
And so I'm so happy for him. But yeah, man, we're fired up. Mac, Texas State, they were number 6 in the country in total offense. I mean, he's different, but still has some similarities of coming out of the same tree with Zach. And then defensively, man, what Shield Wood has done everywhere he's been, the improvement that he's made is really impressive.
Okay, good. Do you hear that music, Coach?
I hear it.
That means we're about to wrap it up.
I know it's a sad deal, but we're coming to the end.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I've really enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys having our backs and loving the Red Raiders.
We do. We're with you, Coach. We're proud. Thank you for your time today, Coach.
Tell Debbie we say hey.
Yeah. We appreciate you.
Hey, we'll get her on next.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.